this Sunday afternoon in New York. All eyes are on the rubber game of the Subway Series as the Mets host the Yankees in Game 3 at Shea. The pitching matchup center stage, Pedro Martinez trying to take the series from the Yankees. They counter with Carl Pavano. 7 train moving on in for the finale. The sun has been fighting through the clouds all morning. We had an early shower, but the tarp's off the field. We're ready for Game 3. Dave O'Brien, Hall of Famer Tom Seaver alongside. And Tom, Pedro gets his very first taste of the Subway Series today, says that right hip is feeling much, much better. He does not have to face Jeter, Sheffield, or Tino Martinez. None of those Yankees are in the starting lineup.
And Pedro, David, has not pitched in over a week. Going against the Yankees, he has a very good career earned run average against them at 3.2. 10-10 against the Yankees lifetime. Here's a couple of strikeouts. This is the last series against the St. Louis Cardinals, and when he was with the Red Sox, a strikeout of Bernie Williams. He averages over 9 strikeouts per 9 innings, and he is the 4th highest in the major leagues this year. Carl Pavano for the Yankees. He had a spectacular game his last outing against the Seattle Mariners. They shut out, 7 strikeouts, no walks. The free agent doing a good job for the Yanks.
Pavano's really come into his own. As you mentioned, a great start against Seattle. 18 wins for him last year.
2 ball clubs, and Jose Reyes has really taken the lead. He had a huge outing yesterday, another triple. He has had 4 triples in the week. He was 3 for 4 yesterday, had 4 RBIs, and we talked about him being a catalyst, and with that superb speed that he has done exactly that. Jeter so far 0 for 5 and 3 strikeouts on Friday night. He is out of the lineup. Wendy Ate got hit yesterday by Benson. Take a guy out of the lineup when he has a 230. He is against Pedro Martinez.
So Jeter 0 for 7. Reyes 4 out of 9 with 4 RBIs. Yet another. What has turned in to a rather sunny day here at Shea Stadium. Game being broadcast in high definition on the WB11. If HD is not available in your area, call your cable operator and ask for it. Pedro Martinez on the hill. The right-hander is 4-1 coming in. And just moments ago, the first pitch of the game, ceremonially, delivered by Jerry Seinfeld. His comic stylings apparently stretching into his pitching rotation, although that was a strike.
That was a strike, too, by the way. But I think the first word of advice, David, was don't give up your day job.
Starting lineups now brought to you by your Tri-State Quality Ford store. By the way, Jerry will visit with us a little bit later. Tony Womack will lead it off for the Yankees. Cano at second, A-Rod at third. Matsui is in right today for the 2nd straight day. Bernie Williams in center with Giambi at first base. John Flaherty, the catcher, with Sanchez at short. And Pavano, the pitcher, against Pedro Martinez.
Pedro Martinez going for win number 5, 4-1, 3.3 earned run average so far this year. And the last 2 outings have not been Pedro-like, but it is the word that he is healthy here today after the, I guess it was 8 days ago, David, last Saturday, that he had the cortisone shot in his right hip.
Those last couple of starts have reflected the fact he has not been comfortable, but he looks comfortable immediately today. Quickly, 0-2. The first 2 across the plate to Womack. He was fast in the hole here. Swung on, popped up into right. Valence looking into the sun, and he's got it. 1 man out. Cano coming up.
Valente with the first out of the ball game. Take a look at our defense. Brought to you by your local Nissan dealers. In the outfield for the Mets, Cliff Floyd, Mike Cameron, the start in center today, and Valente, the start in right field. Wright and Reyes on the left side. Cairo and Mitkevich on the right side of the infield. And back behind home plate, Mike Piazza.
Wind blowing in, and it's also blowing a bit toward right field as Robinson Cano, hitting .305, steps in. He is 1 out of 7 in the series. And Pedro had complained of not feeling right in his last 2 starts. He gave him 9 earned runs in those outings against St. Louis and Milwaukee. And the reason was the inflammation in his right hip that kept him from pushing off the way he wanted. That affected his velocity and his location. Tuesday, he took the cortisone shot in the hip. And with the extra rest, he says he's ready to go. Had a good side session 2 days ago. And misses with a breaking ball there. They count 2-1.
Take a look at Pedro's motion. Very compact. He has a great tempo on the mound. Hands held high. He can start high and stay high. And he delivers the ball in terminology of baseball, top to bottom.
Little roller. There's Cairo with the stop. Up and over to Minkevich. 2 down.
One of the things to watch as we go along today with Pedro Martinez. I've never really seen him pitch that much before this year. And one of the things that really surprised me, his tempo. He has a very, very quick tempo. He is ready to go before the hitters are ready at home plate.
Alex Rodriguez now batting .305 with 14 homers. He was 2 for 3 on Saturday. And on base 3 times, although once erased on a terrible base running mistake over at first. He's walked 4 times in the series. Bases empty, 2 down, just getting underway, game 3. Breaking ball, and that's a little bit low. That's Mike Everett behind the plate today. As you see, A-Rod 3 out of 5 with an RBI and the 4 walks. Tim Timmons at first, Tim McClellan at second, Chuck Merriweather, the umpire, at third. As A-Rod waves right through it, and it's 1-2. That is this afternoon's judiciary. On a windy, crisp, cool day, and it's become sunny. Crowd starting to rev up Martinez, looking for a strikeout of the Yankees' number 3 hitter, and A-Rod asks for time here. He steps out. And the 1-2. Ground ball to the middle. Reyes off his glove, bobbled it, held onto it, but safe at first. Alex Rodriguez, he'll have a base hit.
2-strike base hit, or will they give him an error? I would imagine a base hit. I don't know if you're going to get Rodriguez going down the line. You get into the point here where you expect every play to be made by Reyes at shortstop. He's developing into that type of player, and he is just 21 years old. Good piece of hitting by Rodriguez with 2 strikes on it, not overswinging. He saw the infield, and especially Reyes, was playing him to pull, and he tried to hit that ball right up the middle, gets himself a 2-out base hit.
So Hideki Matsui will bat in the first inning, goes after the first pitch and fouls it away. That is one philosophy of hitting Pedro Martinez, that the best pitch you're going to get, the most hittable strike, is going to be that first one from him. Because he loves to manipulate the corners of the strike zone and change your eye levels after that. If he can get ahead 0-1, that's a huge part of his game plan. Rodriguez with a short lead, not running, and it's on the corner, 0-2.
Well, your point well taken, David, because he does not throw many pitches out of the strike zone, and when he does, he probably does it on purpose. Giving you another speed, another look, another release point is to set up the next pitch.
0-2, he got the bat on it and flicked it foul to hang in there.
I mean, it's like a classical, how to do book right here. He's out in front, throws a great breaking pitch right there. He throws hard enough to make you defend against the fastball, and then the soft stuff away. He has a great tempo. He's ahead of every hitter, virtually every hitter that walks up to the plate. Immediately, boom, strike 1. And that's on page 1 of that textbook.
The 0-2 again. And again popped up, but that'll drift foul and out of play. Mike Piazza catching him today. And of course, Ramon Castro is on the disabled list right now. And that's, I guess you'd have to say, the preferred catcher for sure for Pedro. But it's Piazza this afternoon, catching all 3 games. DeFelice right now the backup for the Mets, available, but Pedro pitches to Mike today. Martinez says yes. Rodriguez at first, 2 down, and the 0-2 once more. That will not be made as A-Rod is back in.
The Yankees with a very good stolen base percentage. They have stolen 32 bases on the season and only been thrown out 9 times. Rodriguez at first base, 3 for 6 in the stolen base department.
The slender right-hander will deliver just outside. Did not miss by much.
If it missed by a fraction. And I mean a real fraction. Wow. And with 2 strikes, you wonder, how can the hitter take that pitch? He may be looking middle in. I don't know. And then again, you say with 2 strikes, how can you look on just one side of the plate?
If a guy can hit the corner with that pitch, I guess you let him have it as he fouls that one away if he's that good. And Pedro appears much sharper here in the first inning today. Certainly much more comfortable physically than any of his previous 2 starts when he gave up all those earned runs.
He most certainly does. And he's, you and I noted it, thought about it, and it was really as much, not lack of velocity, but a lack of command that Pedro has. He can go through a ball game and throw 100 pitches, and 95 of them are going to be exactly what he wanted to do. He may only miss on 5 pitches the entire game when he is really on his game.
Rocket shot pulled into right field by Matsui. A-Rod hits second, heading into third, picked up by Valent near the warning track, and Rodriguez will be held at third base. A single for Matsui on a 1-2 pitch, and he stroked it.
The surprise of this is that he gets to the ball, because Pedro had been outside with an outside corner, but the ball came back over the plate. Valent in right field, hustling to get that ball. You see A-Rod easily going to third base. And Valent came back to first base very quickly. Look at contact. That ball came back this way toward the middle of the plate. Pedro's trying to get it in here and missed. Missed by about 4 or 5 inches. You see from up above, did it come back to the strike zone? Yeah, inner half. Maybe just on the plate, but that's a hitter with a quick inside stroke, especially after every pitch had been away.
So here's the struggling Bernie Williams at 233, 2 home runs. He has suddenly looked awfully old in the Yankee uniform. But getting the opportunity to play on consecutive days, he was 0 for 3 on Saturday. And he takes outside for ball 1. A couple of old adversaries here. Pedro Martinez, as Tom noted, just a .500 career pitcher in the regular season against the Yankees. Bernie Williams has seen him a lot, doesn't like what he has seen at all, just hitting 197. That one drifted just outside, 2 balls and no strikes. But the only Yankee regular who has known any real success against Pedro is Gary Sheffield, who's out of the lineup today. And his batting average .281. Jeter's just 18 for 77 off him. A-Rod now 10 for 44. Womack is 1 for 13. Sheffield aside, the 8 other Yankee regulars have combined to hit just .200 lifetime against him. 2-1 on Williams.
Well, you're talking about Pedro 10-10 against the Yankees. Take a look at that last pitch. They're running fastball right at the knees. Beautiful pitch. And a very respectable 3.2 earned run average. There's only one other team Pedro had a higher earned run average against, and that's the Orioles.
That's a strike. All even now. 2-2. So again, the crowd will get antsy for a strikeout.
And again, it's exactly the same pitch. Now that ball came right back to the middle of the plate. Bertie's got to be arguing that the ball is low, because that's clearly on the plate. That's probably the most hittable pitch he's going to have all day. That last one, which he argued about.
Yep, and runners on the corners. First and third, 2 down. And these two are going to go all the way now. 3-2 on the number 5 hitter.
Pedro tried to throw that ball 150 miles an hour. He's going for strikeout here. Watch that ball tail away and out of the strike zone. Up and away. He got under it a little bit. And he tried to throw a 95 mile an hour pitch there. He'd been around the 88, 90 mile an hour zone.
Will he test Bernie Williams' bat speed here? The 3-2 popped up. That's back off into the stands.
Another thing to talk about, David, too, is that, in baseball today, and I know the fans love it, but it's the speed gun. And Pedro's at 88, 90, 92. He varies the speed on his fastball. But velocity is only one thing you have to work with, control and movement. And Pedro has terrific movement and terrific control. And they actually are more important than fastball. And as you watch the game progress, you'll see that that's one of Pedro's biggest, if not his biggest, strengths.
His last fastball was 94. That's popped back out of play. Took a lot off that one. 10 miles an hour. Changing speeds to 84. He has thrown a lot of strikes out of those 25 pitches.
Very unusual, isn't it? Very high ratio, as you see, and strikes to balls out of the strike zone.
Alex Rodriguez at third. Hideki Matsui at first. This is going to be the 8th pitch of the at-bat as he tries to sneak one by Bernie Williams. And it's up and away for ball 4. So the bases are loaded. Early trouble for Martinez. Well, he looked great out of the gate, but now he's allowed single, and ball 4.
And the important thing about that, even if the Yankees don't score, Joe Torre's got to be sitting on that bench. You can hear the noise for Jason Giambi saying, you know, Pedro Martinez is about a 100-pitch pitcher because he is so efficient. But that's usually his max. The Mets try and pitch him in a game, get him to 100 pitches, and that's about it. He's over a quarter of that already. 26 pitches already.
Matsui had an excellent at-bat against him. His at-bat went 7 pitches. Bernie Williams really extended him, and here comes Giambi hitting just .223. 4 homers, 12 runs batted in. Bases loaded, 2 out. And that's a ball. 1-0.
You know, and I can't believe Pedro is not. There's not a look at the umpire. There's not a question mark of why. That ball looked like a strike to me.
But there is some chirping coming out of the Met dugout. And yeah, after this pitch, home plate ump Mike Everett turned to the Met dugout, and I think he was talking to Willie. Fouled away, 1-1.
Could be Willie or Rick Peterson, one of the two.
He was telling somebody to stop it.
I'll tell you one thing, that guy on the right, Rick Peterson, knows how many pitches he's used this inning. That's for sure. That is not a happy look right there.
And here comes number 29. The 33-year-old right-hander with a long look in. He glanced at the runner at third, and the 1-1 is popped up. Is it catchable? Right, looking up into the sun near the stands, and he lunged in but could not get to it. Could not quite reach it. 1-2 on Giambi.
The wind probably pushed this away from right, plus the spin of the ball. It looked like he did get his glove on it. But that, you see that area right there in front of him, all those seats, that's all added. All that photographer's box, etc., did not used to be there. In the last few years, it's been part of the stands that have been extended out.
White thinks he should have made the catch, but I thought the fans did a very nice job of staying out of his way and giving him a chance to make that play. Off the glove, though, and here comes the 1-2 pitch to the number 6 man, Giambi. Fouled away, pulled off to the right. Giambi just 7 out of 42 lifetime against Martinez. That's a 167 average. John Flaherty on deck. Posada getting the day off. So no Jeter, no Sheffield, no Tino Martinez, at least not at the outset, and no Posada. Piazza out about halfway to the mound to talk this pitch over with Pedro. Mike doing a lot of listening.
Lengthy conversation there, too.
First inning and a Yankee at every base with 2 down. Rodriguez, Matsui, and Williams are on base. Popped up again. Right, again near the stands. Again, can he get to it? He flipped in there and he got it. Did he? Yes, he made a spectacular catch. What a play by Wright on this one. His second effort, and what an effort. And Pedro loves it. A sensational catch by the young third baseman with the bases loaded to bail out Pedro Martinez. The Yankees load up the bases but fail to score thanks to David Wright's heroics leaping into the stand. So it's on to the home half of the first inning. The Mets squaring off against the right-hander Carl Pavano. 3-2, an ERA of 4. 29-year-old out of New Britain, Connecticut. Reyes pops it back out of play. Jose Reyes hitting .269. Starting lineup brought to you by a Tri-State Quality Ford store. Miguel Cairo in at second base today with Cameron in center. Beltran is out for the day. Cliff Floyd in left. Piazza, Minkiewicz, right, and Valent, followed by Pedro Martinez. one bounces right to Cano, the young second baseman, for the out. Jose Reyes is retired, 4-3.
One gone here in the bottom of the first. Look at the defense, brought to you by your local Nissan dealers. For the Yankees in the outfield, Tony Womack, Bernie Williams, and Hideki Matsui. The left side of Ivan Rodriguez and Ray Sanchez. Jeter out of the ball game here today. Cano at second, Giambi at first, and John Flaherty does the catching.
Cairo getting the start at second base with Kaz Matsui out of the lineup today with a stiff neck. And Beltran out with that quad strain. They are both listed day to day. Cairo hitting .245. The ex-Yankee with a home run yesterday. On Saturday he got the start at first base, but he moved to second when Matsui came up injured. But he could not continue with that neck problem. Mike Cameron up next. As Pavano delivers, hit toward the hole and through for a base hit. By Ray Sanchez for a single for Miguel Cairo, and Cameron is coming up with a man on.
Well, looked like he got a high fastball. Yeah, maybe a little cutter right in the middle of the plate. Very hittable. So a one-out single for Cairo. Getting another hit against his mates, former mates, I should say.
Mike to step in at .365 with 4 home runs. 1 for 4 on Saturday. He's 2 out of 8 in the series. And batting out of the 3 slot today. The Mets ripped 15 hits in the 7-1 victory against the Yankees yesterday in support of a very tough Chris Benson. Dae-Sung Koo's shocking double off of Randy Johnson in the 7th inning, and then that daring base running play to score on the Reyes bunt. Those were the day's most memorable images. I have a feeling we're going to see, in particular, the dash to the plate by Mr. Koo many times in the summer to come.
Well, it was the subject of conversation on our way to the park this morning, wasn't it, Mr. O'Brien?
And that's all anyone talked about once we got to the park. Fly ball lifted to right. Matsui there as he turns around to make the catch. He's making just his second career start in right field. Started out there yesterday as well. How about that play by David Wright, the second time being the charm on this dive into the stand?
Well, I thought it was very considerate of the Yankees to give him another shot at him, because I know he was mad at himself that he didn't get the first one, and that one just a fraction closer. Yeah, I got it. Who was most appreciative? Pedro Martinez. He had 31 pitches in the first inning. That left the Yankees with the bases loaded in the top of the inning.
Now, he did collide with a young lady down there as Floyd steps in and takes a strike. And she appeared to take the brunt of that dive into the stands, but a lot of the fans cleared out for Wright on both occasions. They're not compelled to do that. The fielder goes into the stands at his own peril.
There's probably a lot of young ladies that don't mind getting run over by Mr. Wright, huh?
I think you might be right about that. Swinging a shot out to center, drifting toward Williams, and he's got it. That's it for the Mets. No runs. A hit, 1 man left. It's certainly worth another look. Wright with a terrific catch with the bases loaded. Nothing here. Well, the Yankees loaded up the bases against Pedro Martinez in the first inning, all with 2 out. A-Rod with a single, Matsui with a single. Bernie Williams took ball 4 before Giambi popped out foul to Wright along the left field stands. And there's John Flaherty going after the first pitch. He fouls it away for a strike. As the second inning is underway, Tom Seaver, Dave O'Brien with you here on the WB11. It's the rubber game of the Subway Series. First go around. The next series between the Mets and the Yankees coming up in June. Good change of pace there, and it's 0-2.
Well, on the first pitch, he was way out in front of the fastball, pulled it way foul. Look how far out in front of the off-speed pitch he is.
Ray Sanchez up next, and then the pitcher Carl Pavano will try his hand against his opponent. The Yankees had scored at least 6 runs in 8 consecutive games during their winning streak until Friday night, when they scored 5 in a Game 1 victory. So they've only scored 6 times in games 1 and 2. High fly ball lifted into left center field, but there's Cliff Floyd moving over and takes it one-handed. This season, your Tri-State Hyundai dealer and the WB11 are teaming up to help kids strike out cancer. Every strikeout recorded by Met pitcher will add $75 to the Hope and Heroes Children's Cancer Fund. Pedro, who is number 2 in the National League in strikeouts. And so far for the Mets, 318. None so far today. Ray Sanchez, the one-time Met, takes a strike, hitting .348 without a home run. He is subbing today for Jeter, who was drilled on that left elbow yesterday, and that ballooned pretty quickly on him as Chris Benson ran it in and hit the Yankee captain. And so Jeter is out of the lineup, at least at the outset. A thoroughly forgettable 2 games of the Subway Series for Jeter. 0 for 7, 3 strikeouts, 2 errors, and 1 throbbing left elbow.
And a fastball up and in. Jeter goes into the ball, could not get away out of the way of that fastball. And you talk about that thing that really puffed up. There it was right there, David.
X-rays were negative. Popped up near the Met dugout, over it into the crowd. And it's 1-2 on Sanchez.
It's a good move by Joe Torre to get Jeter out of there. He does not have good numbers against Pedro. Not many people do. But you got a guy that's slumping at the plate. Went 0 for 5. Benson got him yesterday. There's Chris. He's enjoying today, I presume, after the fine outing he had yesterday.
Blooper into right. Valent closes and gets to it. 2 up, 2 down. Subway Series through the years is brought to you by Champion Mortgage. We go to Game 5 of the 2000 World Series. Soho with the game-winning single off Al Leiter as the Yankees celebrate their 3rd straight series win. Luis Soho, now the 3rd base coach of the Yankees. Champion Mortgage saluting the Mets and Yankees and homeowners like you. Soho manning the 3rd base coach's box for Joe Torre. 2 down, and Pavano, the pitcher, not a terrific hitter, though he did hit 2 home runs last season.
Season average about 150. He's a big guy. 6'5", 235 pounds or so.
And down he goes, swinging for the first strikeout of the game for Pedro Martinez. Just 12 pitches in that inning as opposed to 31 in the first inning. Mike Piazza to lead things off here as we go to the bottom of the 2nd. Alyssa Milano is one of the cast members of Charmed, as we saw in the promo. Lovely actress. And used to date Carl Pavano in his days with the Florida Marlins. They are no longer an item. I'm not breaking any news there. Not burning any gossip columnist on that one. Piazza taking down and away. Mike swinging a very good bat over the last 5 games. He is 9 for his last 18.
And about a .370 hitter career against Carl Pavano.
2 out of 7 so far in the series. As he looks at his strike, some may be surprised to see Mike Piazza getting the catch here with Pedro on the hill. But as Willie Randolph and Rick Peterson have said many times, this is not a personal catcher scenario. Swing and a miss by Piazza. Of course, Ray Castro is on the DL anyway, but DeFelice would be available.
Swing ahead in the count here by Piazza. Piazza has 30 home runs against American League teams. 8 of them against the Yankees.
Lunging, a little topper toward 3rd, but that's going to bounce foul. 2-2 on Piazza.
That's a very, very good off-speed pitch right there by Pavano. You watch Piazza, he is way out in front, one-handed it. Just keep it in play. Ball actually out of the strike zone by the time it reached Piazza. Last time out against the Seattle Ball Club, Pavano 7 strikeouts, no walks. Excellent control. Pitching himself a shutout.
Line shot up the middle. Piazza with a base hit to begin the 2nd inning. Mike, a .331 career hitter in May. That is his best career month, so it makes sense that this is the month he starts to heat up.
Quick, a fastball left out over the plate. No, a little ran back onto the plate for Piazza. Mike swiftly ripped it up the middle. Leadoff single for New York here in the bottom of the second.
Second hit for the Mets, and here comes Minkevich trying to bring up that 209 average. The lowest batting average that Doug has ever posted in 6 major league seasons was his rookie season with Minnesota back in 1999. He hit just 229 that year. His 272 career. So this is way down for him. Batting 6th will be followed by David Wright. Mets got all sorts of offense yesterday before another huge crowd at Shea. Yesterday, 55,800 fans here. Ground ball toward the hole. Sanchez will feed the second baseman. The bounce will not get Minkevich. So Cano could not turn the double play. Piazza raced at second. Minkevich safe at first.
Pretty impressive turn at second base right there by Cano. You see him get that ball out of the glove, and I think he might have thrown that ball on the ground on purpose because he was backing away from the runner. See him to get back out of the way of the runner. Piazza coming down there, ended up throwing a strike to Giambi at first. Good looking young player at second base for the Yankees.
Just 22 years old.
Two pretty good young players in this ballpark in the field today between him and the Met shortstop, huh?
Well, I think you could toss in the Met third baseman right here, David Wright as well. David, 2 out of 3 against Pavano with a homer in the one meeting against him. It was when Pavano was with the Florida Marlins. In 1997, as a Red Sox farmhand, Pavano was traded to Montreal for Pedro Martinez. Base hit, went the other way beautifully. Minkevich in the second. So 2 on with 1 out, and Eric Valent coming up.
He had 1 strike on him. Real good pitch right there by Pavano, but David Wright, for a young player, is very disciplined at the plate. Somebody has done a good job of getting him to go to the opposite field. He is trying to hit that. He'll do that sometimes, almost every at-bat. Get the pitch away. Don't try to pull that thing. You hit into a double play or roll that ball over to the shortstop for a quick 6-4-3 double play. He has gone to right field as well as any young player I think I probably have ever seen, especially a guy with power.
Oh, Valent got fooled. Roller behind the bag. Fair ball. Giambi touches first base. The runners move up. But Valent came in hitting 161 and needed a much better appearance at the bat than that.
Yeah, out in front of the fastball, and that ball did not spin into foul territory. Now Pedro can help himself here. Does not have any hits this year while it's batting in the National League. The one thing about Pedro, I mean, he's been up 21 times this year. He hasn't been hitting all those years that he was with the Red Sox. He's not been in the plate. He has only struck out 4 times.
There's your silver lining. As he takes ball 1.
Oh, sure. Bash the pitchers.
No, here it is. I mean, only a fellow pitcher.
That's what
would see a guy go 0 for 21.
You've got to look for the bright side.
And look for the positive note in 0 for 21. That he puts the ball in play, and he does here. And it's bobbled by Rodriguez. So something good does happen for the Mets with Pedro swinging the bat as Minkevich scores from third. It's 1-0. The Mets lead it on a gift run, courtesy of A-Rod.
Easy play for A-Rod right here. Well, that's as bad a play as you're ever going to see. One of the best players in the game by Rodriguez, and that's error number 7 for him. The Yankees have been a very good defensive ball club, but a little gift from A-Rod at third for New York.
Well, we all know he hasn't been playing there his entire career. He's been a shortstop, moved to third, but
you might expect a third baseman to get a nice little 2-hopper just about chest high.
That's a gift. So runners at first and third. Pedro is still hitless, but a run scores on that little ground ball. Reyes 0 for 1. He's rolled out to second. And what a day the 21-year-old had on Saturday. Another triple for him, his 4th of the week. He went 3 for 4 with 4 RBIs. Pavano knowing he ought to be out of the inning without any real damage despite giving up 2 hits, but he's behind now 1-0. Reyes started the day, by the way, hitting .353 on the homestand. That's 5-3 on this homestand. 1-1, line into right. Matsui won't get there. Wright scores. Pedro is heading into third. He's there standing up. 2-0 Mets. Reyes at it again.
Mets take advantage of the bad play at third base to get back to the top of the lineup, and it costs the Yankees, and it costs Pavano. Wright easily scores the second run of the inning. Pavano should be on the bench, but that's not going to happen. Good hustle by Pedro Martinez. And one of the rules of the unwritten rules of the game, too, when you have that error made behind you, you pick your infielder or outfielder up, the individual that has made the error. That's where teamwork comes in.
Pedro got to third, gave 2 big thumbs up to Reyes once Reyes reached first base. There's a chemistry about this Met team that has not existed the last several years, that's for sure. Cairo rakes one right at Rodriguez. He makes that catch. And the side is retired. Cairo hit it stiff, but not over the head of Alex Rodriguez. Pedro has a lead, 2-0. Top half of inning number 3 coming up from Shea Stadium as the Subway Series round 1 wraps up today. The series even at a game apiece, and Pedro Martinez with a surprise contact play as he knocked one to third base, mishandled by A-Rod. He has a 2-0 lead. We're delighted to have Jerry Seinfeld in the booth with us. It's what, the 4th season of Seinfeld on DVD?
Yes, in stores as of last week.
Which is a wonderful thing.
Look at that plug. Look at that.
Talk
what
about
an
that
organized crew we got here.
It's a wonderful thing considering that you came up here thinking
maybe
that the pitch, don't give up the day job. I'm telling you
it's
right now.
It's a night job, first of all.
Well, okay, fine. The 24 hours, don't think that you're going to go out there and get on that hill and make a living.
So you thought that I thought maybe I had something.
I kind of will look at it again. Now, first, if it's the adulation before the pitch, by the way.
You didn't have to show that.
And the perfect eye-hand coordination,
Look
obviously.
at the wind-up, and that was me there.
The eye-hand coordination, I mean, is absolutely top drawer.
The wind-up was very 1939 to me.
Yeah.
You know, the very dramatic.
Right.
The sway and the hands over the head. You've been practicing.
You looked a little bit like Three-Fingered Brown to me, as a matter of fact.
Now, do you remember Marvelous Marv Throneberry?
I absolutely do.
Did you play with him?
He was not. I'm not that old. Okay.
Tony Womack, the count 2-1, bluffs a bunt, and the pitch high, 3-1. Another look at Jerry Seinfeld.
This is the delivery.
Here it is.
Here's
the wind-up.
You're not on the grass, but you're getting to the grass right now. The toe is up in the wrong position, and you're obviously a sidewinder. Yeah, you dropped down. Yeah, but you know what? When they see the velocity, they're nothing to be afraid of, big boy.
I didn't see
it's the change in speeds, Tom, as you well know.
I know. Well, you got slower and slower.
Womack taking a call, third strike on 86 from Pedro, and one man out in the third.
Was there a gun on me, by the way?
Yes. And you know that's a beautiful pitch right there by Pedro. You know the one thing about the gun that they have here at Shea Stadium?
Yeah.
The wonderful thing about it is that it registers in 3 different colors. It's got red, and then it's got a little off red, and then it goes to white, and then it goes to yellow.
That's exciting. All right, let's get back to the game.
Yes, and Robinson Cano in the box. The youngster is 0 for 1. He's grounded out to second.
Oh, man.
The Mets with a 2-0 lead. Now, one of the things about the 4th season of the Seinfeld show on DVD, I understand, I've seen this because, as you say, there have been a lot of promos in the ballpark. You guys have outtakes on that. I didn't realize you guys made mistakes.
That's ball 2, yeah, just like Pedro just did. We've made a lot of mistakes. You only see the one take we got right on TV.
Right. The 2-0 tried to hold up, but he went through.
See, I would have dropped down there on that pitch.
You would.
Yeah. It's not about speed, Tom. It's about fooling the hitter. That's all that matters.
You're fooling them.
I want to tell you, up until this moment, I was so excited about that pitch until you showed me what that actually looked like.
I didn't show it. And I can't tell you what the guys in the truck said when we were showing it live either. So you'll have to take that up with them down there.
Did they comment on that?
There were a couple of comments out there, yes.
Really?
Yes.
And Tom telestrated it, too, for us in the truck. It was not pretty.
That ball is
it
popped
catchable?
up in foul territory. Here comes David Wright, and he does it again.
Now, I think that's really where you missed your calling.
I think you're taking the replay. Take the replay here, big boy.
Okay, here he is. He's got these foul balls down pat now after the first inning. He really knows how to play them.
Are you a David Wright fan?
2 hands, David, 2 hands.
Although you want to see him use 2 hands.
I'll need a couple of laps.
A-Rod at 310, singled in the first inning, but he's also made an error to cost a run on the Pedro Martinez chopper.
That was quite an exciting play in the first inning, I thought, that David made. It was amazing to see 2 foul balls in the exact same spot.
And leaping headlong into the seats to come up with it the second time. I thought the fans were very courteous helping him out over there. And for the most part, staying out of the way. You don't see that in too many parks. Swung on and missed, and it's 1-1.
Not in Wrigley, you don't. Look at that. Man. That's a momentum changer right there.
And coming with the bases loaded.
Yeah.
Bases empty here and 2 down. And a trickler to right. Jerry Seinfeld's favorite player on the money. You stay with us another half inning?
Yes, I will.
Okay. Because we want to go back and break down your pitching motion one more time. We'll kill that. 2-0. Back at Shea, 2-0. The Mets leading the Yankees. Tom Seaver, Jerry Seinfeld, and Dave O'Brien with his first time that triumvirate has been mentioned in the same sentence. And the first pitch to Mike Cameron, missing for ball 1. Mike is 0 for 1. He is lined out to right.
It kind of sounds like a law firm, doesn't it?
A little bit, you know.
Seaver, Wright, and Seinfeld?
Seinfeld, Seaver, and O'Brien.
Yeah.
Law firm of Seinfeld, Seaver will give you a top billing on that because he won't be the #1 starter.
Now, what did you think about Alan Thicke using the name Seaver all those years on that TV series? What'd you make of that?
What TV series?
It was a TV series.
Alan Thicke did a TV
what
series
was it called?
for years. Head of the Class?
No,
what was
no.
it? Growing Pains was named.
Part of the Family, one of those shows. And they were called the Seavers. Now tell me you didn't know about this.
Somebody told me about it. I'm not a TV watcher. I'm not a TV watcher.
Neither am I.
So what did you think about it?
I didn't like it.
Okay, well, fine. Then I'm going with you.
Well, no, I did like it. I did like it.
Yeah. What enthralling conversation.
But why, you know, I'm a New Yorker, why a Met fan and not a Yankee fan?
I love the Met, you know, attitude. I love the Met energy. I love that, 69, I was really, 67 through 69 is when I really started to get into baseball. And it's just the funny and it's more New York energy. New York has 2 types of energy. There's the Yankee thing, which is the kind of leader of the world.
Aristocracy?
Yes.
Oh, this one driven deep.
That ball is back and gone! Over the wall and out of here. Cliff Floyd continues to stay in a tremendous hot streak.
Yep, home run number 12 for Cliff. We were talking about Pedro Martinez being traded for Carl Pavano. Pavano also involved in a second trade involving a New York Met, July of 2002, as the Marlins dealt Cliff Floyd to get Pavano. So he returns the favor here.
That's a deep part of the ballpark there, which used to be, and there's another single up the middle.
Mike Piazza, 2 for 2.
Bringing that average up after a slow start this year.
And we got to go back and listen to your call on the
leader
Floyd
of the
home
world.
run.
Aristocracy?
Yes.
Oh, this one driven deep.
That ball is back and gone! Over the wall and out of here. Cliff Floyd continues. So what do you think, Tom? I tried on field. I'm trying the booth now. Is there a spot? Is there a spot for me?
Gone, over the wall, and out of here. All 3. Does it count for 3 runs or just 1?
I'm laughing, but it's not that funny. I'm trying to be nice.
Here's Minkiewicz as he takes down and in for a ball. A home run, a single. It is 3-0. The Mets have the lead behind Pedro Martinez.
This game's had it all so far. Thrills, spills, celebrity action.
Celebrity action. Saw you carrying a baby off the field too, huh?
That's my
your child.
That's my. I have 2 children and 1 on the way.
Cano up and over, and into second, Mike Piazza. And so now there are 2 down. Well, congratulations on that.
That was your baby or one of your?
You
have 1 on the way.
Yeah,
2 children, 1 on the way.
2 and 1 on the way. Yeah.
How old was that child? How old are your children?
4 and 2. 4-year-old girl, 2-year-old boy.
So you got the old Rugrats at home, huh?
Yeah. You know, they can hurt you, these little kids.
I've got 4 grandchildren, I know. All boys, too. And they can hurt you.
They punch you in the groin. They step on your eye. You think that they're cute, but then they go for it.
Here's David Wright. A single and a run scored. A sensational catch as well. Piazza was running on the ground out. He's at second. As the Mets lead it 3-0. What do you have lined up, Jerry? What are we going to see you next in?
Let's see. The next thing, I'll be in Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas in June. My night job, Tom. And I'd love to have you out there if you're free. You ever go to Vegas?
No, it'll cost you.
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
Yes, I would. Yeah, I live out in the West Coast. I would do that. Sure, yeah.
You're from California, aren't you?
Originally, yes.
Yeah. See, I know my Mets. And then I'm working on an animated movie for DreamWorks called B-Movie, which will be out in a couple years. But right now, we got a ball game.
And David Wright with a 2-1 pitch due him from Pavano.
That's a hitter's count, isn't it, Tom?
That would be it. Definitely be true.
What would you look for in this spot?
If you're David Wright,
yeah,
he better be looking fastball.
Sitting dead red.
You look for dead red middle in, probably right here.
And they got a breaking ball instead. 3-1. But he missed with it.
Pretty good pitch.
Well, now you got to look for some.
Same thing.
Same thing.
You look for something in this situation. You're up by 3. Can you put the dagger in the heart?
Right.
So you look fastball middle in.
You got it.
It's sharply. A-Rod makes this stab to his left and gets him as Giambi held first base. On our way out, Jerry, we'll listen one more time to the majesty of your home run call, Cliff Floyd. Thanks so much for being with us today.
Thanks for
Aristocracy.
Yes.
Oh, this one driven deep.
That ball is back and gone. Over the wall and out of here. Cliff Floyd continues.
After 3, the Mets on top 3-0 on our Toyota line score. They have out-hit the Yankees 6-2. And Pedro Martinez to go to work against the 4, 5, and 6 part of the order. A look at today's pitcher's high speed. It's brought to you by Verizon Online DSL. Now twice as fast as before.
You see Pedro's numbers on the right side, 94, 93. His fastball will vary between 88 and 94.
Matsui first ball swinging right to Cairo, up and over for the out.
You'll see that a lot with Pedro too, because of his excellent control. Does not get behind many hitters, and as you made, David, earlier, is that the best pitch you might get in a sequence or an at bat might be the first pitch. He just has terrific movement on the ball right at the hitting zone. He had 31 pitches in the first inning. There's RJ Randy Johnson, a tough day in his start here against the Mets yesterday.
And gave up 12 hits, second most in his career. Bernie Williams walked in the first inning. Swings at the first pitch, pops it up, out racing Cairo, incoming Cameron and Valent, and Cameron takes it. And Cameron in center field as Beltran is sitting with a mild injury today, 2 down. So is Derek Jeter, after getting drilled on the left elbow yesterday by Chris Benson. What, did that look nasty? Huge knot just ballooned on him on that elbow. On one that got away by Benson. Chris Jeter gets hit quite frequently, but rarely as painfully. Although he's had hands busted and stuff like that. Another look at that pitch. Didn't sound good either.
Didn't sound good. Took the words right out of my mouth. That did not sound good whatsoever.
Giambi was the man who popped up along the third base line into the stands, allowing David Wright to make a spectacular leaping catch into the seats. And that started a run of what is now 9 in a row retired by Pedro Martinez. The kind of catch we've seen Derek Jeter make several times in his career. Giambi with just 4 home runs so far as part of the season. Hit just .208 last year with only 12 home runs. Rattles that one right to Mankiewicz. A very quick inning for Pedro Martinez. He needs just 7 pitches to get the Yankees in order. 3-0 Mets. Mets fans, don't miss a minute of the action when you're on the road. Join hundreds of thousands of Major League fans watching live games online. This MLB.TV package is the best when you're traveling out of the market. Sign up today at www.mlb.tv and do it today. Nice to have you along with us here from Shea Stadium on a day that has seen intermittent sunshine. But a whole lot of celebrities. We're delighted to have Jerry Seinfeld with us moments ago. And a baseball tossed into the stands by Mike Everett. Slight delay here as we get the home half of the 4th going with Valent, then Pedro Martinez and Reyes, the scheduled hitters. The Mets ahead 3-0 against Carl Pavano, who delivers a strike. The Mets, by the way, would like to extend their best wishes to Jerry Rosencrantz, great friend of the Met family. Jerry, we hope to see you out at the ballpark very, very soon. Fouled off, and it's 0-2.
Another note too, David, as you look at Pedro in the on-deck circle, we want to send our best to Jimmy Plummer, who works in the front office here for the Mets and has done so for many, many years. He's at St. Francis Hospital. We send our best for a get well soon for you, Plum. Know you're watching today. One of the good guys here at Shea Stadium. Only known him for, I don't know, 35 years or so.
Is that all?
That's about all.
Well, Valent could not hold up. He strikes out. 1 away here in the 4th.
Have a little check swing. Home plate umpire Mike Everett says, yes, you did go.
And that'll bring up Pedro Martinez. And yes, he may be 0 for 22, but he reached on an error by Alex Rodriguez back in the 2nd inning, which should have been the 3rd out. Mankiewicz and David Wright both scored in that inning. Wright coming home on the play by Rodriguez, mishandled at third base.
And the line you used to, David, is that, you know, put it in play, something good might happen.
Another chance for A-Rod. Gets him this time. 2 out. Crowd derisively cheering as he made that play, at least on the Mets side.
Kind of a flashy little throw right here.
Another big crowd yesterday, Tom, 55,800. We had 55,740 on Friday night, so over 167,000 fans. We'll see these 3 games over the weekend. Saturday's crowd was the largest at Shea since September 21st, 1969. We may well have been on the mound.
I was in the ballpark, I can guarantee you.
36 years ago.
It got, I heard you. I heard you.
3-6.
That'd be 3. That'd be 4 short of 40. Is that correct?
You'd have to go 3 decades and then 6 more years on top of that.
Remember I was talking about 4 grandsons?
There you go. Jose Reyes 1 for 2 with an RBI single. So he is 5 out of 11 in this series. That is 4th triple of the year yesterday. Heck, 4 in a week. And is tied for the National League lead in triples. Of course, he had an RBI single off of Randy Johnson yesterday, starting a very big day, going 3 for 4 RBIs. That was after the big unit had buzzed his tower. A look at his 3-base hit on Saturday.
Into right center. That's almost an automatic triple right there. There's no reason for him to stop. You hear Maniac give him a little coaching as he's coming down that line toward third base. Boy, just blessed with incredible speed. A shotgun for an arm. A good head. He's 21 years old. Is that what you were telling me in the car coming out?
Just a baby.
Just a baby. What a nice little 15 to 20 years he has in front of him, huh? Hates to sit down.
So you make a good point about the defensive day he had yesterday. It was outstanding with the bat. We've been concentrating on throughout the series with Jose, but he's been showing off his defensive resume full scale here.
Well, you know, a guy that's blessed with that kind of speed, and there's a difference between speed and quickness, and he has both. And the quickness will really show up on defense. Just cover an immense amount of ground.
Just loves to play. Sanchez with the catch in a quiet 4th inning for the New York Mets. They go in order. The Mets lead the Yankees here 3-0. Mets 3, Yankees nothing. 5th inning of the rubber game of the series. Even in 1 game apiece, John Flaherty to step in against Pedro Martinez, who has retired 10 consecutive Yankees. Foul back out of play by Flaherty. He was 0 for 1. He was flied to left. Well, it is back inside the National League East and back to National League Baseball exclusively for the Mets on Monday. A couple of big series coming up. As it swung on and missed by Flaherty, he is quickly in a hole, 0-2.
Well, this is exactly how Pedro started last inning. Strike 1, strike 2, strike 1, strike 2.
Right down the middle to catch him looking for the strikeout. 11 in a row. Retired by the right-hander. Mets baseball being brought to you today by Hyundai, with quality that lets them offer America's best warranty. 1 out for Ray Sanchez as he takes inside for ball 1. The Mets about to hit the road. And a key stretch coming up. 3 games in Atlanta. And then 4 games against the front-running Florida Marlins. The Marlins now in the lead in the division. A slim lead at that, a half game over Atlanta, and that's a strike. As Sanchez could not hold back. Atlanta in second place. Washington and the Mets both 2 games out. Good breaking ball, and he's starting to get that going.
Do you get the feeling that Pedro Martinez smells it? I think he gets that whiff of the numbers on the scoreboard, 3-0. You think he's got it? Flaherty sat there and took a fastball right down the middle. Leading off this inning, Pedro's inside of his head was strike 1, strike 2, probably within 15 seconds.
Looking for his 4th strikeout here. Instead of fly to right, Valent calling for it, and he's got it for the 2nd out. Pedro is into one of those grooves right now as we check out the Toyota out-of-town scoreboard. They've rained in Detroit. Tampa Bay leading the Marlins at the moment in the 5th inning. Washington, Toronto, the Battle of Canada, tied up. Phillies have a 3-1 lead on the Orioles in the National League. The late game is Oakland, San Francisco. A year ago, that's a great series. Not so great this year, because the A's aren't very good with a pitching depleted ball club, and the Giants don't have Bonds. Pavano 0 for 1. He whiffed in the 2nd inning. That one twisting along the first base line, but out of play, and it's 0-2.
You could bet there was concern for Rick Peterson with 31 pitches by Pedro in the 1st inning. 12 the next, and then 12 in the 3rd. 7 last inning. We're only up to 74 right now. We're in the 5th. 1 pitch away from the end of the 5th.
And there it is. He strikes out Pavano. 1, 2, 3 they go for the 4th consecutive inning. Martinez is mowing down the Yankees. Fifth, the Mets' upcoming schedule brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts, the official coffee of the New York Mets. It's on to Atlanta. The Mets boarding the charter a little bit later on this evening. It'll be Ishii, Glavine, and Zambrano, the scheduled pitchers, against Ramirez, Hudson, and Kyle Davies, the rookie right-hander. And then it's on to Florida for a 4-game series. Pedro's next start will be on Friday in Miami. And Tommy Glavine to pitch on Tuesday against the Braves and Tim Hudson in a terrific matchup. Glavine himself in an excellent pitching groove as of late, turning his season around. Cairo taking a strike. Miguel is 1 for 2. A single and a line out to the third baseman, A-Rod. Mike Cameron and then Cliff Floyd after him. Carlos Beltran and Kaz Matsui out of the lineup today, nursing injuries. That bunt deadened into the grass. Pavano to throw, and he will not get him. Cairo with a bunt single, surprising the Yankees a bit. He's on, leading off the fifth.
A thorn in the side of his former teammates. That's got to be the catcher's ball right there. Catcher's got to call the pitcher off. The only chance he's got to get Cairo. But perfectly placed by Cairo. And Denner, that's like a little wedge that hit about a third of the way to the mound. Nice play.
Well, the Mets up 3-0 here. Do you ask Mike Cameron to drop down a bunt?
I don't believe so. I think you go for the juggler. The heart of the lineup coming up. 4 and 5 following Cameron.
And Cameron with a hot bat.
I'd go for it.
0 for 2 today. It started the afternoon hitting a hefty 365. 1-0. Cameron scored a run yesterday, and since coming off the disabled list, he has scored 16 runs in 14 games. Cliff Floyd is homered today. Jerry Seinfeld with the call, which I think they're going to find a way to include on year 5 of the upcoming Seinfeld DVD of season 5. It was that good. Ground ball to second. Cano feeding Sanchez 1 and a routine double play.
Like I said, David, that should butt him over in this situation.
I remember you said that.
That's exactly the way Willie's going. I mean, you would think, because it certainly is a possibility. If you bring it up, it's a possibility that Willie is thinking about it for sure. And, as soon as you see the ball hit like that, he's going, I should have butted him over.
So the Yankees turn 2. That brings up Floyd with the bases empty. Cliff is flying to center.
But I think your point, is well taken too. Is that Cameron's swinging a good bat. Let it go. This is the meat of your lineup. You don't want your number 3 hitter bunting the runner over.
Floyd with a home run, 410 feet in the third inning.
That is over the fence, gone and out of here.
As Jerry said.
Maybe not in that sequence, but he used those words, I think.
Pop up behind third. Sanchez racing out, calls off Womack. Side retired. Cairo would lead off bunt. Nothing comes of that. Pavano gets through the rest of the inning unscathed. It's 3-0 Mets. Mets leading the Yankees 3-0, top of the 6th. Time for trivia. Here it is, courtesy of Dodge. Which 3 players hit home runs for both teams in the regular season Subway Series? 3 players have done that. The answer forthcoming. As Tony Womack starts the inning, the leadoff man has gone 0 for 2. Pedro Martinez has set down 13 straight New York Yankees. And with very little effort over the last 4 innings. He had a rocky first. The bases were loaded against him with 2 down. When Giambi popped up right, making a spectacular catch, diving headlong into the stands along the third base line. And since then, since that out of Giambi, 13 in a row by Martinez have returned to that dugout. 1-2 on Womack.
Great changeup right here by Pedro Martinez. Looks like it's going to be in the strike zone. We talked about it before. Right at the hitting zone, boom, great movement. Great change of speeds, great movement.
Martinez has struck out 4. Little floater, and that's going to drop down for a base hit over the head of Cairo, who did not locate the ball, but would have been a very difficult play to make. And it's in for a single, and that ends the string at 13 straight.
Well, you talked about it, but when Pedro was at the plate, made contact. Here, Womack just makes contact when you've got that kind of speed. That's the thing to do, and you get a little base hit. He did that on Friday night. That's only the third hit off of Pedro here this afternoon.
And for Womack, just the second hit he's ever had off Martinez in 16 at-bats. We'll see how the Yankees play this with Robinson Cano in there. He's gone 0 for 2. Big swing and a foul back to the net by Cano, who wears the number 22 now in spring training. Signs weren't that hopeful because when he showed up to spring training, he was wearing the number 72. It's usually not good news for a youngster.
The only person who could do that would be Carlton Fisk.
Spring training, that means usually you're headed for the minors. You get a number like that. You count 1-1. Yankees, of course, as most people know, were the first major league team ever to make numbers a permanent part of their jerseys. But when Babe Ruth played for them, the New York monogram on the front of the uniform was actually removed. Although they kept it on the cap, they reinstated that monogram in 1936 on the front of the uniform, but Ruth actually never played with the New York monogram on the front of the jersey. His whole career he played without it. That is not a trivia question for today, by the way. That's on the corner for strike.
And the numbers used to be where you hit the batting order, too.
That's true.
Ruth hit third, Gehrig hit fourth.
Still no name, of course. You never see it on those grainy old black and white films of the Babe. It's missing. Famous insignia on the front of the uniform.
What's wrong with this picture?
Womack at first, still pretty good speed. Not a blazer as he once was, but he's a threat. And there he goes. Swing and a miss. Here's the throw by Piazza. That will not get him off the glove of Reyes. Although Cano strikes out. And a theft of second by Womack.
Well, the Mets looking for strike him out, throw him out here. Off-speed pitch. And the one hopper by Piazza, the second. I think he could throw right on the money. It wouldn't have made any difference. Big jump by Womack at first base. He has now stolen 13 bases. The Yankees have been very efficient in stolen bases. Coming into this game here at Shea today, they were 32-9. They'd only been thrown out 9 times. Of those 32 stolen bases and now 33, Womack has 13 of them. So he's been the speed at the top of the lineup.
35 years old, he can still get down there. He used to steal all of his bases on nothing but sheer speed. Now he's become a very cagey base runner. He sizes up pitchers quite well. And he's into scoring position against Martinez. Pedro 10-10 lifetime against the Yankees in the regular season, 1-2 in the playoffs, including facing them with Boston last year when he squared off against Rodriguez. And he tosses inside. Here's the A-Rod air ball in play. And he does.
That little two-hopper to Rodriguez. The runner on third base, and a gift for the Mets.
It brought in Minkiewicz. That play with 2 out. Rodriguez is 1 for 2 with a single. Mets lead 3-0. Alex Rodriguez has been on base 8 times in the series. Walked 3 times on Friday. Also had a base hit. 2 for 3 on Saturday. Really having a tremendous season so far as he takes a strike. But against Pedro Martinez, lifetime, just 10 for 45. Alex has said in the past, by the way, that growing up in Miami, his favorite teams were the Atlanta Braves and the New York Mets. He was a big Keith Hernandez fan as a kid. Throw to second. Womack gets in. Hideki Matsui on deck. The Yankees have been held to 3 hits. They got just 5 yesterday. Most of that, Chris Benson. And a terrific outing. The 1-1. Up the middle, base hit. Womack into third. They're going to wave him around and test Cameron's arm throw cut off by Mankiewicz. And the Yankees are on the scoreboard. An RBI single by Alex Rodriguez to make it 3-1. He took it right back up the middle. His 43rd run batted in.
All that jockeying at second base was to try to keep Womack as close as he could to second base. And maybe if you give up a single, you might be able to throw him out at home. But just too much speed by Womack. He scores easily. He is off of the races. And a good clutch base hit by Alex Rodriguez. Now has 43 RBIs on the year.
Matsui now. He's gone 1 for 2 with a single. Swings at the first pitch, laces it to Floyd in left, and he's there for the catch. Rodriguez back into first base, 2 down. Although the Yankees getting some pretty good swings in this inning. Trivia time. Time of the answer to which 3 players hit home runs for both teams in the regular season Subway Series. Cairo, Clark, Ventura. That is your answer. Robin Ventura. And Miguel Cairo just yesterday with a home run for the Mets, former Yankee. There's Bernie Williams now. He has walked and popped up. And at first and 2 away in the top of the 6th. That shatters and almost hit Mankiewicz. He has to get back to first and got there in time. That is such a dangerous play. A grin that shows he is whistling past the graveyard on a play like this. I mean, that is a spear heading in his direction. Just got out of the way for the out. Bottom of the 6th inning, the Mets send up Piazza, Mankiewicz, and Wright. That is if Doug Mankiewicz has recovered from his near-death experience over there at first base. And that's only half tongue-in-cheek because he almost got drilled there. Piazza wanted a time but didn't get it, and that's a strike. He asked for a time but too late apparently for Mike Everett. Rather disgusted Mike Piazza kind of dropping that bat. The umpire does not have to give this.
Well, the pitcher was in part of his windup, and the home plate umpire said nope. He called it too late.
That is completely discretionary. It's up to the umpire.
Absolutely. Mike, Piazza goes up there all the time, puts the hand back as if to, let's not be too fast here. Now, how many times do you see Mike Piazza go after a pitch out of the strike zone? That's way above the top of the zone. So that's a little bit of, look at the redneck underneath that hat right there. He's upset about that first strike call. Was he going to hit the 500-foot home run?
Piazza 2 for 2 today and 10 for his last 20. And you see he has done quite well against Bovano. Mike in the top 10 all-time in interleague play in homers, hits, and RBIs. Swing and a miss, and down he goes. That's a frustrating at bat for him. Bovano punches him out. 1 out in the 6th. Now back to Doug Mankiewicz on a shattered bat play as a big shard of it came off Bernie Williams' bat.
We've seen this so many times in the last few years. These bats just shattering. They are so light. Mankiewicz went back, got the back part of the bag. Don't blame him. Make sure that the spear gets out of the way. That's really scary.
Oh, I've seen, and we've all seen, players in the field and umpires and catchers get sprayed with pieces of wood on shattered bats like that. But I remember a few years ago seeing Javier Vasquez, when he was pitching with Montreal at the time, take a big part of the bat right into the abdomen, and it stuck there.
Oh, man.
As if he had been stabbed, and opened up a gash in his abdomen. I hope no one's enjoying a late lunch right about now, because they're not anymore. But I mean, that was frightening. Piazza's still a little upset. After Mike struck out, but it's not the strikeout he was upset with. Home plate umpire Mike Everett not granting a timeout there for him that he's angry about. Minkiewicz on a 3-0 pitch takes a strike.
Well, I think the thing is that Piazza does that all the time. The first pitch he gets in, he wants to make sure that he gets his feet in the right position, etc. He's had his hand up, and it's almost like saying, well, you reach a tenure in Major League Baseball where you have a certain way that you go about your business. Easy play to get Minkiewicz through. Easy way to get, you go about your business, and that's one of the luxuries that you're afforded when you reach that level. He didn't get it, though.
Head on out to Shea this season with a group of 25 or more and enjoy a day at the ballpark with your family, sports league, whatever your group may be. You can hold your next special occasion at Shea with the excitement of Mets baseball. For more information, you can visit Mets.com or call the Mets ticket office at 718-507-TIXX. 2 down bases clean for David Wright. He has singled and also grounded out on the day. And started the afternoon hitting a hefty .393 on this homestand. Wright 2 for 4 with a couple of RBI doubles yesterday, and once again he's on with a base hit. Boy, he's swinging a very good bat right now. And how about the catch comparison? We talked about Wright earlier today, sprawling into the stands, comparing that to Derek Jeter's heroics of just last year. Now that was a more sensational play because of the fact that Jeter came up bloodied. By the way, Pedro Martinez was the pitcher that day for Boston against Jeter's Yankees. Pedro on the hill for David Wright's Mets here in 2005. And here's Eric Valent. He's gone over 2. Runner goes. The throw by Flaherty and will not get it. Wright has a stolen base. So he's doing a little bit of everything on this Sunday.
Well, he gets in the scoring position with the left-hander Valent against the right-hander Pavano. Good job by Wright to get down there. He is now 2 for 2 in stolen bases. The Mets have stolen 24 on the year.
Not an easy guy to steal against because Pavano is usually timed at about 1.2, 1.3 seconds to the plate. He's pretty quick. Valent here will be walked intentionally to get to Pedro Martinez. And so he takes ball 4. Pedro coming up with runners at first and second and 2 out.
Well, they can't lose situation for Willie Randolph. You've got 2 out, stolen base. If they pitch you, you've got number 8 hitter potentially being able to drive in the run. If you walk him, then you turn the lineup. Good move by Randolph right there to run David Wright. Wright, a versatile player. Give you a little speed on the field. I know he's no Tony Womack, but he's smart, good quickness.
And Pedro Martinez twice has gotten the bat on the ball, once allowing the Mets to get a run on his ground ball, routine ground ball to Alex Rodriguez, who muffed it, allowing a run to score with 2 out in the second inning. He has since grounded out cleanly to Alex Rodriguez. 0-2. Game 3 of the Subway Series, all even at 1 apiece. Mets winning yesterday 7-1. Yankees won Friday night 5-2. Artistically speaking, certainly for the Mets, yesterday was a much better afternoon than Friday evening was the night game in Game 1. Swing and a miss. Martinez strikes out. Side retired in the 6th inning for the Mets. No runs, 1 hit, 2 men left. It's 3-1 the Mets. Mike Piazza keeping a little bit of distance and kind of ignoring the home plate on Mike Everett. Now, as the inning was about to get going, Piazza coming out of the dugout. Willie Randolph, a wise move here, got between Piazza and the home plate umpire. Not that they were going toe-to-toe, but just making sure they kept their distance. Maybe calming the umpire down a little bit. Back in his position behind the Met catcher. Giambi takes outside for ball 1.
Willie Randolph did not want to lose his catcher. There's no question about that. Knowing when to do it.
As Piazza was still steaming.
Yep.
Giambi hits that one. Friendly hop to first. Minkiewicz will take it himself for the out. 1 man out, and John Flaherty coming up. Did you worry about your catcher in spots like that when you know he's having a disagreement maybe when he was hitting with the umpire?
You want to lose your catcher, yeah.
But would you do anything about it? Would you talk to the umpire yourself?
sometimes you keep your nose out of their business because, you know, they'll turn to you and say, this is none of your business. Don't. Just try and say, leave my catcher alone. You got your disagreements, fine. And the catchers I worked with never really were too hot-headed.
And not that Mike Piazza has a reputation. That's in there for striking and flirting.
I think Mike's argument, this is my norm. I normally do this. I'm not doing something I don't normally do when I get in the box the first time. I've always done this. And it's kind of a professional courtesy when you've got a person of that caliber. It's not something new that I'm trying here, to the home plate umpire Everett says I do this all the time.
It's not like Mike Everett's Guillermo Mota in Mike Piazza's eyes. I'm just thinking as a pitcher, as Tanyan Sturt starts to loosen up in the bullpen for the Yankees. Bases empty, 1 out here. High fly but foul, yanked down the left field line by Flaherty. I mean, if there is a conflict going on between the umpire and your catcher, you might get squeezed a couple of times. Now, if it's not that Mike Everett can do that, I'm not
then it would be a 2-1 contest.
Well, that's what then it becomes your business.
Don't let that rub off into me.
Cairo at the catch, and there are 2 down. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of Sterling Mets and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent of Sterling Mets. Ray Sanchez is 0 for 2. He's lined out and flied out today. The Mets ahead 3-1. And they have out-hit the Yankees 8-4. The Yankees have made the only error, and it was costly. Over 55,000 in the park for the 3rd consecutive day, and it's another strike. 0-2 on Sanchez.
Fastball, then breaking ball, and this one out of the strike zone. Strike, 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 strike. After a while, a hitter begins to believe every pitch is going to be a strike.
1-2.
Pedro up to 98 pitches so far. 70 of them have been strikes. 98 pitches, 70 strikes. Huge ratio.
Looking for his 6th strikeout of the day, and got it on the inside corner. He sat a breaking ball along the inside edge to freeze Ray Sanchez. 1-2-3 go the Yankees. 3-1. The Mets lead it. We're in the midst of the 7th inning stretch. Mets leading 3-1. The Toyota out-of-town scoreboard coming up in just a little while. That's the Toyota line score. The Subway Series through the years being brought to you by Champion Mortgage. We go back to just yesterday, but first the at-bat by Desanku earlier this week against Cincinnati, and then yesterday against Randy Johnson. His double to center field. Reyes would then later drop down the sacrifice bunt, and Desanku would not stop. Ruled safe at the plate by Chuck Merriweather on a spectacular romp. Minkiewicz had to cool him off. He was that hot. Champion Mortgage saluting the Mets and Yankees, and homeowners like you call 1-800-CHAMPION. And the People's Choice, Mr. Koo, is starting to throw in the bullpen as we speak. What a sensational play indeed as Pedro Martinez talks to Rick Peterson here. Now Pedro continuing to pitch very well. He's only allowed 4 hits and the 1 run. Just got the Yankees in order. So we'll see what comes of that discussion. Jose Reyes to lead things off here in the bottom of the 7th. He's gone 1 for 3. Of course, the stunning thing about Desanku's at bat yesterday against Randy Johnson was what had happened on Wednesday against the Cincinnati reliever Todd Coffey, who struck him out on a total of 4 pitches, and Mr. Koo did not get the bat off the shoulder on any one of those, and he was standing about a mile off the plate. And against Randy Johnson, you rake a double.
It's the old decoy play. It works every time.
Playing possum, like Minkiewicz said. He had him all the way.
Running the bases was like a kid in a candy store, wasn't he? I'm not stopping.
3-1 on Reyes. Cairo next, and then Cameron. The Mets with a 2-run advantage here in the 7th against Carl Pavano. Now a full count.
Back inside. Reyes did not agree with it. You can see the catcher pulling that ball back into him.
Ground ball. Nice stop by Giambi. Will he outrace Reyes? And he got there in time. A nice sliding play to get him. Outstanding defensive play by Giambi. Not his noted strength. He had to get there quickly.
That's a terrific defensive play and great hustle. Back to the bag and great hustle by Reyes to get there as well. That's really a good play. Pavano was getting over there, but they've never gotten there in time. That's a fine play by Giambi. Good play like Reyes, right? This is that head first slide again, and your fingers out there. Slap those hands when you get back into the dugout. I don't know if you can correct that. Mets cannot afford to have that happen. Having your shortstop breaking a finger sliding into first base.
Cairo 2 out of 3. Dropped down a nifty bunt his last time up. Lines that one foul down the left field line. So Reyes out at first thanks to the nice play by Giambi. Denied what would have been the 9th hit of the day against Carl Pavano. Pavano grew up in Southington, Connecticut, rooting for the Yankees. In fact, he pretended to be Don Mattingly, batting against Roger Clemens. Those were the fantasies of a young Carl Pavano as he delivers outside. Signed a 4-year, $40 million deal with the Yankees in December. Fouled off to the right, 2-2. Back in 1988, you talk about it being a small world. Pavano was a 12-year-old at a baseball camp in New Britain, Connecticut. The Red Sox have a farm team, and one of the minor league prospects who pulled him aside to talk about pitching was a Red Sox farmhand by the name of Curt Schilling. He was in there to work as an advisor and a coach in the camp. Pavano, 7 years after that, would make his major league debut, and he would make it against Curt Schilling. And he would beat him. Schilling then with the Phillies in Pavano's first big league game. Fly to right center field on the move. Williams and Matsui. Matsui with a catch. And Cairo is retired. 2 down in the Mets 7th.
I think both those outfielders thought the ball was going to go farther than that. It got out there, and that alley in right center just kind of died and arced its way back toward Matsui in right field.
Mike Cameron to hit. You wonder if it's going to be a 7-inning outing for Pedro Martinez today, and that's it. He has thrown 99 pitches. Coop continuing to warm up in that bullpen. And now Hernandez has joined him.
Well, you go into the number 9 spot. And then back to the top of the lineup in the 8th inning for Pedro. Those two would not be throwing down there if not be for coming out. And Rick Peterson has talked about it, is that Pedro is a 100-pitch pitcher. Now that is somewhat of a general rule. And the other thing too, that he hasn't pitched in over a week, and he got the shot in the hip, and why push your luck? Got 7 great innings out of him. 7 innings, 4 hits, and just the 1 run in the 6th inning.
6 strikeouts. As Cameron takes one high, it's 1-2. I guess there's the possibility that the hip is flared up again. That might be another factor, but you're right. He's right there at 99 pitches. And he's given the Mets a terrific day. Down into the dirt, 2-2. Pavano last year, his last season with the Marlins, went 18-8, an ERA of 3. He was 12-2 on the road. He had the most road wins of anybody in the big leagues. He just missed somewhere there. 3-2.
That ball's out the strike zone. Good call by the home plate umpire. See the catcher go out and get it, try to bring it back. Not fooled by Everett. Nope, not biting on that one.
Cameron 0 for 3 today. Lifts a pop-up into right field. Matsui is waiting beneath it, and that'll do it. The Mets go 1-2-3. Lots of bullpen activity. We'll see if Pedro Martinez is done.
Gone for a home run. This ball is long gone off the scoreboard.
The Mets just keep on hanging up W's.
Thursday, June 2nd is Mets Cooler Bag Night at Shea, presented by Keyspan. For your tickets, call 718-507-TIXX or visit Mets.com.
Nice warm reaction for that man. The reliever, Dae-Sung Koo, the left-hander, is coming on to pitch here in the 8th inning. The Mets leading at 3-1. We check out the Toyota out-of-town scores. The Marlins have now come from behind to lead Tampa Bay 4-2. They're in the 6th inning. Atlanta and Boston are 0-0. They are in the 4th. Coming into play today, the Mets 2 games out of first place. The Marlins have a half-game lead over Atlanta in the National League East. The American League a little bit later on. Well, interleague play continuing with Oakland and San Francisco at 8:05. Minnesota leading Milwaukee 1-0 in the 4th. Kansas City on top of St. Louis in the Battle of Missouri. And yesterday's hero, what a day he had. What an inning he had. Dae-Sung Koo on to pitch in relief of Pedro Martinez, who's outstanding.
Making his 19th appearance for the Mets. Pitched yesterday, pitched an inning in the 3rd. All zeros except for the strikeout yesterday. He had 3 punch outs, pretty good numbers, and a great day at the plate. And a great day running the bases.
Did we think we would utter that phrase all season long? Fouled away by Russ Johnson, who is hitting for Carl Pavano. So both starters are now out of the game. Pavano 98 pitches. He threw 59 strikes. Struck out 3, walked a man. Very solid effort. But if it ends 3-1, he's going to lose today to Pedro Martinez. Pedro would go to 5-1. And Pavano would drop to 3-3. Line drive on the move, Cameron, and Mike gets there, reaching up to snag it for the out.
Mike Cameron back in familiar territory right here. Shea Stadium center field. He had a tough time adjusting to that at the beginning of last year. Coming over here and playing in a windy ballpark earlier in the year. Here's what it's like at Shea Stadium. But he's very comfortable in center field and making really a seamless transition to right field. He has turned over center field to Carlos Beltran. That line drive right at you, not an easy play. One of the great things about the mid outfield this year in center and right, they have tremendous speed. Those 2 guys can really run, cover a lot of ground.
Well, here's a guy who can certainly run, Tony Womack, 1 for 3, has a single and a stolen base, but one of only 4 hits off of Pedro Martinez, who goes 7, giving up 1 run. He struck out 6. He walked 1. He told Rick Peterson after the 7 innings that he felt he had done everything he could today. He was going to go in and get a little ice on that hip. A job well done by the right-hander from the Dominican Republic. Pedro giving the Mets a big lift here on a Sunday afternoon. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Robinson Cano up next. Womack, the leadoff man for the Yankees today, as Derek Jeter is sitting after getting grilled on the elbow yesterday by Chris Benson. Womack thought about it but stayed away from the outside pitch, and it's 3-2. Mike Stanton, the left-hander, the Yankee pen. He will follow up Pavano, and here comes the 3-2 from Koo. Little squibber, right, bobbled, collected it, but Womack is going to be safe at first. Womack going the other way with a ground ball.
Well, speed will put pressure on the infielders, and that's what happens here. Womack with great speed. Right, rushed it just a little bit, never got a handle, didn't get the left hand firmly on the ball.
So it'll be an error on David Wright.
That is his 6th of the year.
And Peterson is going to trot out to talk with Koo here. because Ruben Sierra has been announced as the pinch hitter. So they will go over the scouting report on Sierra, activated off the DL during this series.
This is one of the difficult things for Rick Peterson too, is communication. Who is Korean, and it was talking about the first time that he went out there, there was virtually no understanding or communication. This is a veteran pitcher, a long time in the Korean leagues, and they've been able to work that out, find out a way to communicate what Rick Peterson is thinking and get that across to his left-hander.
Sierra hitting for Robinson Cano here. A runner at first base, one down. And Sierra still with pretty good power. He represents the tying run at the plate. And Womack is back in. Alex Rodriguez coming up next, and then Hideki Matsui. Gary Sheffield out with an injured left hand for the second straight day. So the Mets are catching a break there. That is over but low, 1-0. Well, we did have some sunshine in the early innings, but that is completely gone, and the wind has really kicked up as well as the clouds have covered the sun. The lights are on at Shea. 3-1. The Mets have the lead late in the 8th. That's it for a strike. It's 1-1.
You would have to hit an absolute ton to hit it out of here to left field today. I mean, Ruben Sierra is strong, but is he that strong? That wind is blowing a gale in from left field. Gloria is standing straight out there.
Koo looking for a double play ball here. Up the middle, there's Cairo. Feeds Reyes. He bobbled the ball, got upended, and he's safe at second. Everybody's safe. On what looked to be an inning-ending double play, and the Mets get nothing out of it.
It looked like Reyes tried to hustle and hurry that ball, took his eye off, got there too quickly. That's what happened. He got there too quickly on the little flip from Cairo. Boy, you just got to make sure of one. Make sure of one. That's an absolute in that situation. And just too aggressive. Reyes at second base. What a break for the Yankees. And that's going to bring Willie Randolph out to the mound.
Yeah, he's going to get Koo. A-Rod coming up. Hernandez ready. This call to the bullpen brought to you by Verizon Business DSL, the best value in broadband. And we'll be back in a moment.
And trouble brewing for the Mets. They go to the bullpen again. Womack into second base. It looked like Reyes stepped right on his hand on a double play ball that should have been. It turns out that Yankees get men at first and second with one out. Probably the hitter that they want up there. I think he just, talking about Reyes, rushed the ball. He should have stayed behind the bag and taken it behind the bag if he could. He was just so anxious to get that flip from Cairo. It'll be up to the bullpen to slam the door on what have been those two big mistakes, errors, and giving the Yankees another chance.
Well, Jeter is going to enter the game. He'll run for Sierra at first base. Womack needed a little medical attention himself after that collision. A takeout slide with Reyes. He went to the dugout while we were away. The runners both go. Piazza will not throw, and everyone's going to be safe. Wright did not even come in to cover at third base. They both got excellent jumps, a double steal.
So another mistake by the Mets on the infield. Wright did not check his runner at second. No place for Piazza to throw. Wright very deep with Rodriguez up. And a good call by Joe Torre on the bench. A surprise call, and all of a sudden with one out, tying run at second base.
A-Rod pops it up. Here comes Mankiewicz charging hard near his dugout. He's got it. 2 down. Alex Rodriguez pops up.
The wind really blowing toward the seats behind the dugout, but that ball with enough spin on it for it to come back to Mankiewicz. 2 men in scoring position. And Rodriguez pops the ball right up. And an easy play for Minkiewicz. Here's the guy that's been the best hitter for the Yankees right here in this series.
And first base is open. I realize that's the go-ahead run over there, but the tying runs are on base. And Matsui may be the last guy in this Yankee lineup. The lineup that Torrey penned in today that you want to see if you're a Met fan. He is 1 for 3 with a single. And he takes ball 1. So Womack reaching on a 1-out error by David Wright. He is over at third base. Jeter is at second. 2 down. Fouled away, and it's 1-1.
Well, you got to be real careful here. Real careful. He has really got a quick bat and swinging the bat well. Hit the ball powerfully to left field. Hasn't got hits out there, but he's in line drives to left field as well. And the ball's away. Bernie Williams in the on-deck circle hitting .233 coming into the day. I would treat every pitch in this situation as if it's 0-2.
Second and third, 2 down, the 1-1. Fouled off out of play, and it's 1-2. Now Matsui had 2 strikes out of him in the first inning when he singled off of Pedro. Hernandez trying to make sure that doesn't happen again. Because if it happens here, we're tied. Fly ball to left, but foul. And again off into the seats. The deciding game in the Subway Series, the May version. In the 8th, the Mets lead it 3-1. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Line drive, base hit over right. 1 run in. Here comes Jeter. He scores, and the game is tied at 3. Well, the game is all about decisions at a stage like this. They pitch to Matsui, and he burns the Mets.
With 2 strikes and a good pitch by Hernandez. Down and away, but a real hot bat and a good hitting Matsui going with the pitch just out of the reach of David Wright. And those 2 young men on the left side of the infield for the Mets, the 2 errors that they made, the double play that should have been out of the inning, that will remain in their mind. The Mets don't come back and win this one.
Matsui comes through. Give him 2 RBIs. On the base hit, as you said, with 2 strikes again. So we're starting all over again. A 3-3 game. Pavano and Pedro both out of the contest. Bernie Williams is 0 for 2. He's also taken a walk in this one. And the Yankee fans who've been quiet most of the day have suddenly sprung to life. No hold here by Hernandez. As the Yankees have Gordon now pitching alongside Stanton in the bullpen. That one socked down into the right field corner, sailing for the fence. It'll take a hop up against the wall. Here comes Matsui in the third. He's trying to score. The throw to the plate, and he is safe at home. The Yankees take the lead 4-3. Williams winds up at third, and the Yankees are up 1 in the 8th.
There is an old saying that you just cannot give a good ball club 4 outs in an inning. Yankees this inning have actually had about 6 outs. The error at third, the botched double play ball, Matsui all the way from first base right by Piazza. That ball down in the corner, retrieved by Valent. Back to the cutoff man, and incredibly, 3 in the inning, and the Yanks on top by 1.
Giambi taking a strike, and a reaction by Hernandez as he gives up the RBI extra base hit to Bernie Williams. And he's just 90 feet away. Slice foul by Giambi. That slide by Hideki Matsui, mindful the same kind of slide we saw just yesterday by Dae-Sung Koo. Same result in each case.
Piazza had to go out to get to the ball, and just a swipe hand. Mike Everett right on top of it made the correct call.
1-2 on Giambi. He's hitless today, 0 for 3. So the Yankees have rallied to score 3 times in the top of the 8th. They were down 3-1 coming into the frame. The Mets with defensive letdowns that have cost them dearly. And then Matsui with the big hit for the Yankees. Due up for the Mets in the bottom of the 8th, Floyd, Piazza, Minkiewicz. And that'll be against the Yankee bullpen because Pavano is done. Jeter hasn't smiled much in this series, but he is now. 2-2.
Well, how about Bernie Williams having a tough year, hitting under 250, hitting 233 coming in here today. Huge base hit.
He did not look too ancient on that swing.
No, he didn't look too ancient running either.
Swing and a miss. Giambi strikes out the side. Is finally retired. But the Yankees scored 3 times in the 8th inning. Hideki Matsui with the big blow. His 2 out, 2 RBI, 2 strike single. Yankees 40. Here's a look at our Jeep game summaries. We take it to the home half of the 8th inning. The Yankees suddenly in front 4-3. A-Rod with a couple of singles, but the biggest single off the bat of Matsui. Hideki Matsui with 2 RBIs moments ago. Pavano pitched well. Pedro Martinez pitched very well. Cliff Floyd has hit a solo home run. Wright with a couple of singles and a stolen base. Made a great catch, but also a key error. And the mistakes really cost the Mets. Will it cost them the game? We'll see. Tino Martinez is now into the game at first for the Yankees. Ray Sanchez is now at second, taking over for Cano. A-Rod shifts from third to short. And Russ Johnson stays in the game. He will play third base. And a new pitcher for the Yankees. A bevy of changes here. The left-hander, Mike Stanton.
Stanton in the game on Friday night that we did here on Channel 11. Left-hander, of course. You look at his numbers, 0-1, 5.4 under an average, his 16th trip out of that bullpen for Joe Torre and the Yankees.
Stan brought in to face Cliff Floyd right away. Cliff 1 for 3 with a home run. His 12th of the season, back in the 3rd inning. That's when the Mets took a 3-0 lead, but they have not scored since. The Yankees just got 3 in the top of this 8th inning.
Well, it becomes a game of managing the bullpen for the last 6 outs for both teams. Stanton probably, you would certainly guess, in to face one hitter just to get Floyd out.
Got to even it up with that swing, and it's 1-1, but Floyd holding up a hand, reminding himself not to overswing.
Cliff would do that. When you see Cliff Floyd and hear him talk about when he's in a hot streak, that he has cut down his swing and trying to think about just hitting the ball hard and not hitting it 500 feet. And he does get into that groove. You're right, David, where he has that huge swing. Trying to hit the proverbial 500-foot home run.
It gets a little long, and he knows it.
Yep.
2-1. Flash Gordon still throwing to the pen for Joe Torre. With the right hand hitting Piazza next. You would think Stanton is in just to face Cliff Floyd, who asks for time. DeJean and Looper, pair right-handers for the Mets. 4 runs, 6 hits, an error for the Yankees. 3 runs, 8 hits, 2 errors for the Mets. Downstairs for ball. 3-1 on Floyd, right into the hitter's count. Matsui is playing him deep and right. Williams straight away in center, the same thing. On the corner, tough pitch, and it's 3-2.
There are some pitches that you're up here on the broadcast booth look like there's no way that they're strikes. Right on the edge of that corner. Must have caught a thread. Good pitch right there by Stanton. Floyd did not turn around and didn't object to it.
Cliff just 4 out of 29 on the homestand, so he's actually cooled off considerably since the 20-game hitting streak.
He's up there about 380 or 390.
Swing, center field fly, backing up Williams. The wind will knock it down quite a bit, and he's there to make the catch for out number 1. Well, he put a charge into it.
That wind blown a gale in center field. I mean a gale, and it's blowing from left field toward right field. On a summer day in June or July, when it's hot here at Shea Stadium, that's a 400-foot-plus home run.
Cliff Floyd saying summer can't get here quickly enough.
A frustrated Cliff Floyd.
Would have been his second home run of the day. Instead, into the glove of Bernie Williams. This call to the bullpen brought to you by Verizon Business DSL, the best value in broadband. Here's Mike Piazza against Tom Flash Gordon here with 1 out in the bottom of the 8th. The Mets are trailing the Yankees 4-3. Gordon 0-3. He's had some difficulties this year, especially with bases on balls. Piazza's 2 for 3 on the day with 2 singles, and he takes ball 1. These two have faced each other only 3 times. Mike is 1 for 3 against Gordon. That one, a home run. He lays off, and it's in for strike 1-1. Mankiewicz on deck. Nobody on base. As the Mets look for a base runner, the 1-1. Now 1-2. Mets are on the road. They head for Atlanta tonight and open up a 3-game series with the Braves on Monday. Kaz Ishii against Horacio Ramirez at 7:35. Glavine pitches Tuesday. Zambrano scheduled to pitch on Wednesday in Atlanta. After that, it's on to Florida. And 4 games with the Marlins. Fouled away by Piazza. The Mets came into this weekend leading the National League in home runs. And right now they are tied with the St. Louis Cardinals for first in the league in home runs. Beltran sitting today. High flying into right, but Matsui says he has it. Get it up into the wind, and it's not going to travel. 2 down.
The wind absolutely knocks it down. That's another ball. That ball by Piazza got a chance to get out of here if you're in late June or July. Hit the top of the bat, but he is so strong. That's right to the edge of the warning track. And the wind really knocked it down. Gordon is 37 years old. He used to be a guy that you did not have to run up on the ball to hit it either. You really got it up there to home plate.
And the only man to hit the ball out today, Cliff Floyd. So maybe a better day for left-hand hitters. If you're going to muscle one out, we'll see what Mankiewicz can do. Doug has hit 6.
Yeah, you're going to have to pull it, though, too, David. And earlier when we started this game, the sun was out. It was gorgeous. And then right about the middle of the contest, that breeze came in. It has been chilly all day here.
1-1 on the Met first baseman. Mets coming into play today. We're 8th in the National League in hitting. You mentioned number 1 in homers, but hitting .262, 9th in earned run average, and 7th in fielding. Right about the middle of the pack. But the Mets have committed 2 very costly errors in this game. At the top of this inning, Reyes and also David Wright. Slicing fly ball. It is Bernie Williams with the catch, and the side is retired. The Mets go 1-2-3. It is on to the 9th at Shea with the Yankees on top, 4-3. And on to pitch the 9th. We've got 3 big games, 2 National League East rivals, 1 place to catch all the action. The Mets and Marlins mixing it up in Florida. You can see every amazing moment Thursday at 7, Saturday at 6, Sunday at 1 on the WB11. And before that, the Atlanta series, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesdays. You see the numbers on Dijon. He is 3-1 coming in. Runs are going to be very difficult to come by because the Mets hitting the road will battle the 2 best pitching staffs statistically in the National League in Florida and Atlanta in that order, although in reverse order of the series. John Flaherty 0 for 3 today. It's the bottom third of the order. Rivera getting ready in the Yankee bullpen. 4-3 Yankees in the 9th. 2-0. Marlins right now leading Tampa Bay in an interleague series 8-5. They're in the 7th. And the Braves lead the Red Sox 2-0. They're in the 5th. Routine ground ball to Reyes, down to get it from the cut of the outfield grass. He throws him out. 1 away.
What have the Braves done? Lost 4 in a row?
Actually, they won yesterday.
They had lost 4 in a row right before that.
Yeah, they had fallen out of first place.
Yeah, Florida went into first place.
Marlins have won 3 in a row. So they have a half-game lead over Atlanta. Washington has dropped 2 in a row, but they're only 2 games off the pace. A swing and a miss by Sanchez. And the Mets also 2 games out coming into this one in the National League East. Surprise team in the National League these days is certainly the San Diego Padres. They get real hot. They're in first place as of this announcement. Reyes off balance, throws. Yankees got a glove on it, deflected it near the camera well. That'll hold Sanchez to 1 base on what should be a single for Sanchez. Reyes trying to get airborne and fire a strike over to first, did not quite get it there.
And it should be a single. It gives you an idea, though, of the great strength that Reyes has. He takes 1 fraction of a second more. I don't know if you could do it that way. You can't stop. If you stop and plant, you no way you're going to get the runner going down there anyway. But you know there's going to come a day, and it's not very far away if it's not here already. You expect him to make those kinds of plays. The play at second base is the mistake of youth, the botched double play ball. But he is such a spectacular player. You're beginning those kind of plays where you really have no chance to get the runner. You expect him to be able to get him. Expect that he will get him.
Sanchez giving a hit on the play. Russ Johnson up there for the second time. 1 down and a man on.
This is the double play ball. And he took his eye off the ball and looking back at the bag because he came too far toward the second baseman, Cairo, instead of laying back behind second base.
Rake but foul by Johnson. 1-1 on him. Of course, Womack had reached on the error by Wright, but the double play would have erased that and would have ended the inning.
Yeah, and he's over right there.
Would have ended the inning without a single Yankee run being scored. Instead, they got 3 and have a 4-3 lead. The 1-1 to Johnson, missed the outside corner. David Wright also with an error on the Womack ball.
This is a routine ball that should have been made. He just never got the left hand in the glove around the ball. So The Met defense, in reality, gave 6 errors to the Yankees in that inning. One by Wright, and then the double play which was not turned. So that's 3 extra outs right there.
So youth giveth and youth taketh away on occasion. As good as those two have been this weekend. Did he check? He did not. Tim Timmons says that's a strike. Johnson went too far.
Well, you be the judge. Timmons says it is a strike. Nice decoy by Johnson, though. Wow.
That's a break for DeJean there.
Yeah,
looked like he held it.
Yeah, didn't get an argument there.
Mike will take it. Here comes the 2-2. Now full count. Tony Womack was banged up on that play at second base. The muff double play is on deck. Sanchez getting his lead. He's running, and the pitch is low for ball 4. First and second for the Yankees. More trouble brewing for the Met bullpen. Only one away. Womack marching up to swing again. He's 1 for 4. He has scored 2 of the Yankees' runs.
These are the guys that are the pesky little guys that don't strike out, that put the ball in play and use their speed, and then you have to defend their speed. He got that little dinker earlier in the ball game over the second baseman's head. Got a couple of clunkers on Friday night. And then when he gets on base, he gets your attention.
A tough man to double up. Here on the left side with good speed. Tino Martinez would bat next. He's been sitting all afternoon. Gary Sheffield has been held out of the lineup second straight day with that broken blood vessel in his left hand. Off the outside, and it's 2-0. DeJean pitching himself into some trouble here. Sanchez and Russ Johnson on. And it is Aaron Heilman now loosening quickly in the bullpen. Line drive off the glove of Reyes. Here comes Sanchez in to score. Reyes could not make the catch on a slicing hard hit liner from Tony Womack. It is 5-3 the Yankees. They thought for a moment Womack was lining into a double play to end the inning.
It sure looked like it, and you wonder if Reyes took his eye off the ball to look at the runner. I doubt it. The ball looked like it maybe took off right before it got to Reyes' glove. Veteran Womack, a good at-bat. He has had a good series here against the Mets.
And that's an RBI single for him. Tino Martinez now taking a strike. Still only one man out. With the runners on the move, if Reyes makes that play, boy, the ifs are starting to pile up here today for the Mets. The ifs and maybes. High chopper. Cairo flips to Reyes. Got that out. The certain out, and that's all. Retiring Womack. Johnson down to third. Not really a double play ball.
Not really a double play ball. Make sure the one. You can see Reyes right there. Keep your foot on the bag. Take the ball with 2 hands. He was not going to make the second mistake again.
So the Yankees have runners at first and third with 2 away, and Alex Rodriguez to hit. Due up in the bottom of the 9th for the Mets. David Wright, Eric Valence, and then the pitcher spot is up. We may find out just how healthy Carlos Beltran is. Day to day because of that injury sustained yesterday to the right quad. 0-1 on Rodriguez. He has a pair of singles today.
Big swing, got a fastball inside half, right on the inside corner. Good pitch right there by John.
Yankees 5, Mets 3 in the ninth. Right back to the screen, and it's 0-2. A-Rod wanted that one. He wanted that one something fierce.
When he lets it go, he really lets it go. You look at the strength in the swing. Tries to explode into it. Got that whirly-bird finish.
Rivera, the only guy you got to worry about right now if you're a New York Met fan. Runners on the corners. Rodriguez would not chase it. Five runs on 8 hits for the Yankees, 3 runs on 8 hits for the Mets. The Mets have committed 2 errors to the Yankees 1. 2-2. It's turned into a cold and windy day at Shea Stadium. The Yankees have come from behind to take a 5-3 lead in the rubber game of the series, the 2-2. And again, he would not bid for it. He cannot get Alex Rodriguez to chase one outside the zone. So it has gone from 0-2 to 3-2. The payoff pitch. Outside and low for ball 4. Rodriguez is on with his 5th walk of the series. And that loads up the bases here for the Yankees. And here comes that man again. Hideki Matsui. And here comes Willie Randolph out of the Met dugout. Aaron Heilman will be brought in to pitch here to face Matsui, who came up with a big 2-run single in the 8th. It's the Verizon call to the bullpen, and we'll be back in a moment. Tom Seaver, Dave O'Brien with you on the WB11. On a cool, windy Sunday, Aaron Heilman coming on to pitch, and right into the Hornets' nest. The bases are loaded with New York Yankees, and they lead it 5-3.
Aaron Heilman in, and if Willie Randolph keeps going down there, you know who's going to be coming in? Jerry Seinfeld.
Running out of options.
Seinfeld, of course, threw out the first ball here today at Shea Stadium. Back about 1 o'clock or so.
Here's Matsui. He is 2 for 4 with a 2-run single. And part of the crucial 8th inning, came up with a key hit.
Yep, had a pretty good pitch too. Just laced it into the left field. It was not a bad pitch at all, but you got a hot hitter and swinging a good bat, very disciplined hitter.
That's a strike. All even 1-1. Johnson, Martinez, and Alex Rodriguez on the bases for the Yankees. They scored 3 times in the 8th. They've added another run here in the 9th to come from 3-1 down. High fly ball into left, backing up. Cliff Floyd on the edge of the track. He's got it. Not this time for Matsui. Although he's done plenty of damage, Heilman gets him to fly out. And you know who's coming next. 5-3 Yankees. Rivera on to pitch here in the bottom of the 9th. Yankees leading by 2 in every weeknight at 10. Join Jim Watkins, Kaiti Tong, and the rest. Rivera coming out of the bullpen in search of his 9th save. He has a 184 earned run average. And David Wright will be the first man to test him with the Yankees up 5-3.
Mariano, 14 innings pitched, as David said, and just 11 hits. Looking for his 9th save. Joe Torre, Don Mattingly. Joe Torre, he's been at the helm of the New York Yankees 9 years. Doesn't seem possible, does it? How good is Mariano Rivera?
Well, he's a Hall of Famer. No one would debate that. Possibly you'd hold out the Boston Red Sox. They might have some debate on occasion. Wright taking that one in there for a strike. He's gone 2 for 3. 2 singles, a stolen base. Looking to atone for an earlier error in the 8th inning. Jumps away and it's inside. Very little debate on this. The best cutter anyone has thrown in recent memory. Mariano Rivera.
Well, you hear a lot of people say that too.
Fouled away, and it's a ball, 2 strikes on right.
That's fastball right down Broadway too. About 91 miles an hour. That's right in the middle of the plate. That's right at crosshairs right there. That's the best pitch you're going to get to hit from Rivera. That was not the cutter. If it was a cutter, it didn't cut.
Lent on deck, and then we'll see for the Mets. The 1-2. Luke foul out of play. Way back at the very start of this contest, in the first inning, Wright made a fantastic catch. Maybe the best play he's made all year. With the bases loaded, Pedro in trouble, Giambi batting. Giambi popped it once out of the range of Wright, who went into the stands, couldn't get to it. The second time, Wright with a marvelous catch. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Martinez was off and running after that. Yankees didn't get anything off Pedro until they reached him in the 6th inning for 1 run. That's all he gave up in his 7 innings. He struck out 6, allowed just 4 hits. Fought off again by Wright.
David Wright having a good at bat right now. 2 balls and 2 strikes. This is a pretty good pitch right there. Kind of a straight fastball, but on the outside corner. You think sometimes statistics are incorrect. Right-handers against Mario Rivera, 0.95. They're hitting under 100 against him.
Up and in, shoulder high to make it 3-2. 93 miles an hour.
Good pitch right there by Rivera. Fire right at that left elbow.
It is starting to spit a little bit here at Shea. First sign of any weather, really. All afternoon. Here's the 3-2. Fly ball right field. Matsui there. Routine play for him. 1 man out.
Makes you wonder if that last pitch, the 2-2 pitch that went up and in, was to back David Wright off a little bit and then go back outside with a cutter and hit it right off. That's the cutter right there. Right off the end of the bat. He has such confidence, you think Mario Rivera does. Said, yeah, I'll go to 3-2 because I can go back to my bread and butter cutter on the outside corner. Like Wright pulled off just a fraction, too. It was a great pitch.
Well, here's a guy who needs something good to happen. Eric Valent. Hitless today. An afternoon that began with him not wanting to look out at the scoreboard and see his batting average, which was 161. And without a home run, he has shown pretty good power. Marlon Anderson has come to the on-deck circle now for the Mets. And Beltran continues to sit. Little dribbler along first. Martinez gets there in time for the second out. And there are 2 down to the bottom of the 9th for the Mets. If the Mets, in fact, do lose today, down 5-3 in the 9th inning, it's going to be a very disappointing defeat because they had this one with a 3-1 lead in the 8th and a double play ball right there to get them out of the inning in that 8th, but then it went haywire.
Well, you're exactly right, David. It doesn't really make any difference what sport you're playing. Basketball, football, golf, doesn't make any difference. I mean, you're going to get beat. And it's much easier to take a loss when you don't beat yourself, and that's what the Mets have done here today. Sometimes you tip your hat to your opponents. They played better than I did today, and we got beat whatever the score might be. But when you hand the victory to them, that's the tough way to go.
Well, the weather has turned. A lot of gray clouds moving in as Anderson takes a strike. And with the light rain falling, there's some heavy stuff behind it. The Yankees are on the verge of closing out a series win here. 1 ball and 1 strike on Anderson. He's a .353 hitter. Both of these teams have really done some terrific work as far as pinch hitting goes. Anderson's batting average largely reflective of his success as a pinch hitter. Flies that one to center field. Williams backing up with room to make the catch. He's got it, and the Yankees win it 5-3. They take the Subway Series, the first round, the May edition, 2-1. 5 runs, 8 hits, and an error for the Yankees. 3 runs, 8 hits, 2 very costly errors for the Mets.
A couple of costly errors, and for Joe Torre in a makeshift lineup. And tough defense on the infield today for the Mets from their 2 young players. Starting out in spectacular fashion when Wright went into the seats, and you thought it was going to be one of those storybook days, but later in the ball game, things went south.
Once again, your final score: the Yankees 5 and the Mets 3. Today's MVP brought to you by Chevrolet. Visit ChevyOffers.com today. And it was Hideki Matsui with that 2-run single.
Swinging the best bat in the entire series, and the Mets went after him, and he went down that left field line. He's had a good series here against New York.
So Matsui about to grant an interview in his native tongue as the Yankees take this one. That's it from Shea Stadium. The final score: the Yankees 5 and the Mets 3. Join us on the WB11 for our next Met telecast. That will be Thursday night at 7. When the Mets take on the Florida Marlins from Miami. Stay tuned next for Will and Grace. Coming your way next on the WB11. Well, it started in sunshine. It's ending in some light showers and a Yankee win 5-3. For Tom Seaver, I'm Dave O'Brien. We say goodnight from Shea Stadium. We'll talk to you again next weekend.